Let's talk dodge and let's talk burn. And there's actually one more tool called sponge. They're located right over here. Let me make that a little bit bigger for your eyes. Three tools. Dodging lightens, burn darkens, sponge adds or removes saturation. The tools themselves mimic what we used to do in the darkroom. In fact, still do. Most of the people that work at Adobe are in the photography industry, and a lot of the tools, in a sense, are carried over in terms of what they are or what they look like or their names based on darkroom techniques. Let's start with dodge. Dodge means lighten. Now, we do have some options up here. For example, you have range. You have shadows, midtones, or highlights. Midtones are most of an image. I would say in a normal image, they're 80 or more %. You will have shadows and highlights. This is where we're going to start. Exposure is how quickly the effect works. A higher number means it goes faster. Lower number means less. We do want to protect our tones. This button is to go into what's called an airbrush mode, and that's useful if you have a drawing tablet. And this one is if, again, you're using a drawing tablet, it's tablet pressure. Let's come back down, pull that back, and let's get started here. This, of course, is just a demo. I do have the dodge tool selected. The size of my brush influences the area that's impacted, and I'm going to come right about here and click. And you will notice it will begin lightening that area. The thing about this tool is it will only work in an area to a certain extent until you let go of your mouse. When you press your mouse button again, it will do another percentage. So every time you let go of your mouse and every time you push it again, it does another set. But as long as I have my mouse held down, it won't do any more. That's what exposure is. The more exposure you give it, the quicker it'll happen. If we go to the next tool, and that's the burn tool, we come over here, it does the opposite. It makes an area darker. And again, as long as you're holding on to the mouse, it won't get any darker until you let go of the mouse again. You want it to go faster, change the exposure. Those are those two tools. The last one is a sponge tool. Again, when you go to sponge, you have some new options up here. You have desaturate or saturate, remove color or add, and now that word is changed. It's not exposure, is it? It's flow. Flow is different. What flow means is it's continuous. The more you rub, the more it works. So you have to be a little bit more careful with this tool. But with that said, like in, for example, desaturate, if we come over here and we begin working on this petal, you can see if I keep moving around, it will eventually go into shades of gray. Depends on how fast you want it to work. We come over here and change to saturate. Do the same thing over here, and as you can see, it begins not changing the color, but changing the saturation of the color. Dodge tool, burn tool, sponge tool. In a sense, been using them in a darkroom for more years than I care to remember. Photoshop's got them. In the next segment, we'll get some practical experience.